You're listening to the Sophie Martin Show on NEWHD Radio, which is a platform that helps create jobs for people on the autistic spectrum, those with other disabilities, and veterans. Today I'm joined by Luna Marble, a band bringing classic rock back with a fresh, powerful sound. We'll talk about their music, their journey, and what makes their style truly unique. Let's dive in. So turn it up. This is my conversation with the Luna Marble Band on right here on NEWHD Radio. So, how would you describe your sound and style?
Maria, go
Oh,
for it.
okay. So Dragos has just joined us. Um,
Hello.
how do I describe our sound? Um, I like to not think in boxes, so I don't like to compare myself much to people, but obviously there is a big influence on 70s music. But when I say 70s music, I like to think about the philosophy. I think the sound that we get gets so easily compared to the 70s because we record live. There is no isolation. We all in a room playing live, and then obviously we had that kind of like rich wall of sound added later on, which is kind of like a nod to like dense productions from the 70s, like Alan Parsons, who produced Dark Side. I'm a big fan of Steely Dan as well. um I think it's quite rock and roll. It's heavy at times. It's ethereal. I'm really inspired by Stevie Nicks, so we love adding those enchanting, ethereal, cosmic layers. But it also has that stadium chorus, anthemic, larger than life vibe that I want, which is something a bit more modern, like bands like Greta Van Fleet or Rival Sons. You can see experimenting with that kind of like stadium rock sound, which was not something that you will have in the 70s. It's ever evolving. Our bass player has a royal blood setup, so it's kind of a nice twist. He splits of his bass with a guitar sound, so that also adds to the mixture. So yeah, a bit of everything.
How did Luna Marble get started?
Do you want me to answer,
Should I
Dragos?
take it? I'll
Yeah.
take it. I'll take it. The one and one. Me and Maria met just a little bit before the pandemic. And then it was during the pandemic where in the UK you could only come out the house once a day. That we figured out that we were living quite close to one another, so we just started going on walks and getting to know each other. Discovering our shared passion for music. We would just be showing each other different songs or artists, and then we started jamming together. Quickly discovered that we have great musical chemistry. Um, Maria had some ideas, which we finished. Then we just wrote a few songs as well. So it was like a creative explosion. Um, we had like 5 to 7 songs in like a month. And then when the restrictions lifted a little bit, we could start practicing again. So we got in touch with David and Sean, who were in a band with Maria at the start of uni. And they said yes, started jamming, putting songs together. It was going really well. Um, and yeah, that's about it. It's a pandemic baby, Luna Marble.
Mhm.
Crazy to think that if that wouldn't have happened, probably we wouldn't exist as a band.
Who are your biggest musical influences?
So I think everyone in the band has a bit of a different background. My dad raised me up on loads of Foo Fighters, and that kind of started my journey into 70s music, like bands like The Police was my first memory of my favorite band. And through that, I got into Led Zeppelin, Fleetwood Mac, other artists like Johnny Mitchell is really big on me at the moment. Pink Floyd as well. Those like my the ones that come on the top of my head. Dragos, you wanna talk about your
Yeah,
influence?
I mean, for me, early on, I was a big prog head, especially prog metal. Dream Theater was my religion when I was a teen. I knew everything about them. Still love Dream Theater, best band in the world. Uh, um, but yeah, then I'm trying to think as well. A few Romanian bands as well. I guess we have to shout them out. Vița de Vie and Alternosfera, which do like kind of like alternative rock. Really inspired by that sound as well, and I think that does come up in some of our songs. And then it was actually after meeting Maria that she really put me onto all the 70s rock, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd as well. I was into Pink Floyd since I was like 10, maybe. That was another obsession of mine. Um, so yeah, Hendrix, Stevie Ray, all the good stuff. Um, yeah, Tom Morello as well, bit of Rage. Bomb Track was one of the first, well, was the first song I ever learned on electric guitar. And I'd say more in his rhythm playing that I've been influenced by Tom Morello, not so much with the crazy noises.
Mhm.
What's your process for writing songs?
So, well, this band kind of started because I had songs already written and they were really basic. So I just gave them to Dragos and he kind of like ignited that spark to like make it a bit better and or like reharmonize it or like sometimes I will have a riff and I will sing it to Dragos and he will create something out of it, or Dragos maybe has a riff and that inspires me so we write a song. But it's pretty much me and Dragos, we try to do like a demo from our house and then we take it to the rehearsal room and the guys jump in. Sometimes the song is pretty solid and they just like adding the parts, or sometimes it will also inspire, for example, like David, like he will do like something with his bass that's really royal blood and that will change like the whole structure of the song. So yeah.
Is there one song that means the most to the band?
Ooh, that's
I
a
don't
tricky
know.
question.
Maybe
Yeah, I don't
maybe
know.
running. I don't know. Maybe running to the band as a
Yeah,
whole.
Running was the first song we ever kind of released. The first one we recorded ourselves. It's kind of like the one that started the journey. So I guess that one is very personal to us. For me, I love Time. It's not out in the world, but it's a song that we love playing live, and we don't get to play live
Yeah,
very often. So when we do play it, it feels really, really special, and I think we all love it.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Where does the mystical part of your music come from?
Stevie
Well,
Nicks,
it is.
short
Well,
answer.
no, like no, but even before, like I always had some sort of like draw into the night or like stars and moons. I don't know, like I was always like a night child. Like I'm the most creative at night or anything that is a moon or a star. I don't know why it has such like the cosmos has such like a deep hold onto me. So when we were trying to come up with names, David say, "Oh, why don't we call ourselves Luna?" It's because I wanted to have something cosmical. And obviously throughout the years Stevie Nicks has been a presence, and every year I discover more of her and how much similarities we have from each other, like unconsciously. Like it's quite funny because, like, obviously you know an artist through the music, but you don't know the personal life or whatever they're into. And it's been through these years that I've been watching more documentaries and one is like, oh, we're actually quite similar. But you know, Stevie Nicks is also a big influence, but not on purpose. I guess we just happen to be cosmical creatures.
What's been your favorite live show so far?
Yeah, I think. Hmm.
Hard one.
I think it. I think it was still our third rock and roll circus for me. Funnily enough, we've just to give you some context, we have our own series of themed headline shows that we put on once a year, usually for a occasion like releasing a single or we've just done one a couple of weeks ago for our album, and that one was really good. Um, but and that was the fifth edition. But a couple of years ago, we had our third edition, and I don't know. It was the first time where we played a gig, and in between songs, everybody was so hyped up and screaming and so loud that my ears physically hurt, and I just couldn't believe it. And yeah, it was a great show as well. It was kind of the first time we expanded the concept a little bit because we had a permanent keyboard player on the stage. We don't normally have a keyboard player in the band yet, but for
Mhm.
very special occasions, we get someone to play with us. We also had a backing vocalist. We had some guests. Um, we thought a bit more in depth about the set and the show as a whole. So it was a bit of a step up, but mainly for the reaction we had from everyone. Like I said, people were so loud and so hyped up, and it was it was a very humbling moment for me personally.
How do you keep classic rock feeling fresh and modern?
I guess we don't like to think of genres like, and we have so much different influences, like from jazz, from David's Royal Blood, Muse, Twist. I also love pop bands. Grunge is a big one in this band. So if we have an idea, we are not afraid to be like, oh, that's not very Luna Marvel, because we are not afraid to think outside the box. Like if we have come up with an idea that suits the vibe, we just go for it. And I think classic rock obviously has the connotation from that 70s, but it's because we just go to the studio and there was a strong emphasis on musicianship. You know, everyone in the band is able to record everything in one take, and they're really good at their instrument. You know, like the fact that we can do that and be really good at it. It's that 70s virtuoso mentality that you have to do it in one take, and all of us play live, and then it's just enhancing through studio production. So that's like the classic rock element. But I think the fact that we're not afraid to take influences from whatever it comes up, it just keeps that fresh edge, because we serve the song and not a style or a genre, if that makes sense.
How important are visuals and style to your music?
I would say really important. I think nowadays the branding is what kind of breaks or makes a band. And obviously we're trying to be savvy, and we know that if we lean into the visual, it's gonna look good into us. But when we were first setting the band and we were writing the songs, I love songs that feel larger than life, you know, like the music kind of comes out of the speaker, so it makes you feel overwhelmed or like you're kind of floating. So that's why we lean into these like stadium like choruses. And so I just started putting stars from the ceiling in the first gig that we did, the first headline, and that was like a big realization moment of like the Luna Marvel universe is like something I've been building over the 5 years, and it feels very a natural progression. Like if every year it feels more settled and more right of leaning into this cosmic visual. I think it really goes with the music quite nicely and builds a world around it.
What's next for Luna Marble? Any new music or tours plans ahead?
Um, Not for a little bit. We've just done a few dates in the UK, and then we just have one more show booked for this year at the moment. There might be some
Mm.
more last minute opportunities, we shall see. In terms of music, yeah, we've just released our debut album.
Yeah, it comes out
Um,
7th of November, a debut album.
yeah,
So
oh yeah, and
that's what we're putting our focus on.
yeah, yeah. Um,
But yeah, not taking too
so
many gigs because we, as Drago said, we've just been on tour. Not yeah, a mini tour, and I think up until now we have been pushing the songs from the album and rehearsing for live shows and stuff. So I think we're really craving getting back to the rehearsal room for the purpose of jamming and writing. We have been sitting on an ideas for a while, but obviously because you are touring and putting this album, that takes priority. So I think we're just gonna take the the occasion that we don't have any gigs for November and just get our heads in and jam and finish writing this second album that is nearly there. It's like halfway done.
Yeah.
So
Halfway done.
pushing that.
Yeah.
That was Luna Marble on the Sophie Martin Show. Thanks to the band for joining me and sharing their story. I'm Sophie Martin. You're listening to New HD Radio, where classic meets new. Stay tuned for more great music. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at New HD Radio, and you can also check out our website, newhdmedia.com.